Welcome back to another episode of the Weekend Grill, episode number 15 this week. I'm Adrian Daher. Joining me today again, Paul Italiano.
Ooh, what are we, 5 in a row?
Oh, you put me on the spot. I lost count. I got no idea. I don't know. Too much going on.
Does it have to get cut out?
No, it's not going to get cut out. We're still going.
Are we?
Yeah,
Oh,
of course we are. Absolutely. Okay, on the grill today, episode 15, we've got some good topics. Damien Hardwick lurking and Stuart Dew shirking. So
Ooh.
Stuart Dew, Gold Coast son, shirking the task.
He's not happy, the big boy.
And and Dimmer's, he's operating in the shadows. Well, evidently at this moment,
Godfather.
he's not operating in the shadows because everyone seems to know about it. But obviously, no one listened to the Weekend Grill 6 weeks ago when he left his job. Okay, next topic we're going to talk about also is have the Blues left it too late? They've been impressive the last 2 weeks. You know, I reckon they've left it too late. I'm sure you got something to say about Carlton too. The race to September.
I'm looking forward to this topic.
Tighten up. We're going to have...
The ladder's interesting.
It is. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Obviously, I know you have.
Sometimes I'm laying in bed, I'll scroll, have a look, and it's... Jeez.
We're going to have a few graphics.
All the way to 15th can make it, I reckon.
Carlton can't make it.
They can.
We cannot,
unfortunately.
Well, we'll speak about it. Also, we're going to have the Who's Cooking segment, top 5 players, top 5 teams, and around 17 preview. Short and sharp today, but these are very good topics to talk about. Let's get stuck into it. Here we go.
Let's go.
So Damien Hardwick and Stuart Dew. So it's a two-part topic. Obviously, Gold Coast Suns and their form, and what that means for Stuart Dew, and also the fact that one Damien Hardwick has conveniently come out 2 weeks ago on Dylan Buckley's podcast and stated he'd be interested to coach again. So, Paul.
Look, the media's out to get Stewie Dew, aren't they?
I completely disagree.
Really? I just feel like every time he loses, they talk about his job.
6 years, 120 games.
Has he been there for 6 years? No, he hasn't.
120 games.
Has he been there for 6 years?
Paul, he's had 120 games as a coach, 36 wins, 83 losses, 1 draw. Come on.
I reckon.
I don't think they're out to get him, but I mean, yeah.
Look, I still think he's the right man. I think they're going the right places. I think he's had to clean a few things up, and their list management prior to him was terrible.
So 6 years isn't enough?
Actually, I didn't know.
Let's even give it
to be
4.
honest, I didn't know he had 6.
No, that's okay. No, that's not.
Right,
good.
but I think, look, besides playing Collingwood, before that, I thought they were trending in the right way. They're a tough team to beat at home.
I agree.
They're being competitive.
Yep.
I think the one that hurt him was the Blues loss. The Blues really embarrassed them at the gym.
You don't think Collingwood did?
Well, Collingwood was the topper, but the pressure was on before that.
The pressure was only on as soon as the Blues game came along because they went through that run where they beat Richmond at Marvel. They won the 2 games in Darwin. They beat Adelaide. They beat the Bulldogs. These are teams that are 2 teams inside the top 8.
But that's what I mean. They're beating teams. So
they're not taking the next step.
Yeah, and I think that's coming though.
And I reckon the playing fucking Jesus.
Nah, but I think they've got some good young players coming through.
Yep.
And I just think, look, if you can get Damien Hardwick, it's a big question. But I think the players are behind Stewie Dew.
Are you?
I think they are.
Yeah?
Well, the reports yesterday were they were all going to come out in the media and back him up. That's what I read.
I've got a feeling that it's sometimes with footy clubs, it's players that are not responding to the coach. And the other flip of the coin, the other side of the coin is basically the board don't want the coach. I think in this instance, the players want the coach, but I think the board, very similar to how the Carlton and Brett Ratton / Malthouse incident went down and how that evolved. I think this is a very similar scenario. I think when you've got someone like Damien Hardwick available, Gold Coast would be relatively, in my opinion, stupid to not even bother talking to him. Just to reach out.
Of course they're going to reach out.
And I'm telling you, this occurred not today, not yesterday, not 2 days ago. It happened 3 days after actually 3 days before Damien Hardwick left Richmond. The day before the Dreamtime game is when they reached out.
Well, you reckon they knew?
Mate, we spoke to each other on the phone about it. Do you not remember the conversation we had?
I think I've lost memory this week.
I reckon you have too.
No, look, you called early. I know you called it weeks ago.
I think, and
got intel.
Caroline Wilson's come out and said it on Monday, or it was blown up. She's probably known we probably sit at the same table. We probably got the same person that works for us.
Same person feeding us both.
Yeah. But Caroline Wilson's mail is pretty strong. A lot of people disagree with how she goes about it, and I agree. But I'm telling you, like, she gets fed some very, very good information, and I have an inkling that this was not. I spoke about it with Pommy. Pommy thinks he should go to Tassie, and it's not the worst call. But I just strictly said, I'm telling you, he will end up at the Gold Coast.
All Dimmer said was he wants to coach again. He doesn't say
it's
when.
All he needs to say.
Yeah,
all he needs.
Everyone
to say.
He didn't say I'm going to coach next year.
He doesn't have to.
Yeah, he doesn't have to. So
doesn't have to.
I think sometimes we reread something and we say, "All right, he's going to coach."
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Oh, mate, things
get
taken out of context.
Year off. He hasn't even had a year off yet.
No, but he had his rendezvous in America. Came back for Trent Cotchin's 300, and 3 days after, he's come out in the public, and he well knows, and these AFL figures know that what they say gets put out to the public very quickly. He will full well know that when he went on Dylan Buckley's podcast and made those comments, he knew they were going to go viral. That's how it works. That's how it works. I'm just sitting here going, I'm a little bit on the fence. One, because I do agree. I think there's a lot of things pointing towards Gold Coast going in an upward trend. However, the last 2 weeks have challenged that. So even now I'm starting to think like, I don't know where they actually are. And then you've got the extra factor of Damien Hardwick lurking in the background. I mean, I'm just saying, Paul, look.
Does he fix the issue though? That's because
who knows?
I tend to find you need, for me, when you're finding a new coach, I'm always of the thought you need to find the next Damien Hardwick, not
the exact.
Not
I
the
agree.
One.
I
because
completely
the hunger
agree.
Goes when you win 3 flags, that extra hunger goes. How much do you really? You've done it. You've done it. You know.
So let me pose a question to you. So do you think the hunger is there, or it just wasn't there with Richmond? It's 2 different things.
It's a new challenge.
I think Dimmer is a guy that needs to be challenged, and I think he sees a Gold Coast.
How long was Dimmer at Richmond before they turned? How long was he there? He was there for a while.
6 years or 8 years before they won a flag.
There you go. And
it was 8
I would
years.
stick fat with Stewie Jew. I would.
Really?
Yeah.
My lord.
Yep. And he's. I can't remember if some of their.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
You're 100%. Okay. Cool,
with their list management decisions, I'm not sure if he was there when they did.
Which ones are you talking about?
I'll
do my best.
They picked up Lockie Weller from Freo.
With him?
Yeah. Didn't they give up number 2 draft?
Yeah, they would have give up Caleb Sarong. I think. I'm the same similar as you. I could be wrong.
Yeah, and they gave away.
It was Sarong or no, it wouldn't have been. I think it was Sarong. I could be wrong.
That's who they picked up with the pick.
Yes, but again, the same as you. Don't quote me on that.
Is he playing?
He played on Saturday.
And then they've got. I think they gave away Lyons, but he's not playing. I don't think
Jared Lyons.
Is he playing for Brisbane?
No.
So that didn't really turn out. So and they're paying Weller big money as well, aren't they?
They're paying a lot of players a lot of money.
Yeah, but they got some like Humphreys come through.
Well, a lot of their players are in a part of their career in terms of their contracts where who the next coach is going to be moving forward may have a big decision as to if they stay or if they leave. He's got another year on his contract. Just to be clear, Stuart Jew has another year on his contract.
I reckon they're going the right. They're only, what are they, 2 games out? They play Port this week.
I'm just saying that they do. So I'm going to read you their next 4 games and
read me their run. I want to know their run.
This is a death trap.
Okay.
So their next 4 games are Port Adelaide, St Kilda, GWS,
all the way.
Lions. No, you should have the thing with you. I sent it to you. Let's have a look. So Port Adelaide away this week. Saints at home, Giants away, Lions at home, Crows away, Swans away. That takes us to round 22. I can
win the next 2 out of 4. In
my opinion, I think a decision will be made within the next 2 weeks. I'm not saying they're going to announce it. In fact, look, I'm telling you now, Damien Hardwick will be their coach.
What if they beat Port this week?
It's completely insignificant. It's irrelevant.
So if they go out,
It's completely
so
negligible.
You're telling me if they pack their bags, go to Adelaide,
Well,
get the 4 points.
This is why they don't announce things.
Mm.
Paul,
I don't think they'll beat
Paul,
Port.
let me tell you something. I'm not sure if you've been in this position, and maybe you have. When you and your missus break up and she becomes your ex-missus, the decision's made prior to you two breaking up.
Mm.
We might tell each other today, you and I, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it may be, partner, no different. A decision's made. When they tell the public and when they tell Stuart during the plays that the decision's made is a completely different story.
That's an interesting analogy.
Am I wrong?
No, I get what you're saying.
Let's ask the viewers. Nah.
I get what you're saying.
It's not a dating app or a dating advice. No, it's the closest thing I could sort of find to it. Like if we come to it could be a business decision.
Yeah.
Business decision may only get announced today, but our minds are made up.
Set.
Our
so
minds are made up previously.
Said he's gone.
I think the moment they found out he was in over his head at Richmond and he was having enough, which was way before the Dreamtime game, which was Dimmer's last game as coach of Richmond, I know they spoke to him. Mate, I tried to speak to Harry about it, thinking he'd know something because Harry is connected. He knows a lot of people there. He's told me things I didn't even know. But I'm telling you right now, as far as I know, and I know it's true because I know that people like Caroline Wilson, when they say these things, when journos start coming out and saying it, they don't say it unless they know something. Like they don't talk shit. Sometimes they may have wrong information, but they know they're going on something with someone who's.
I reckon she knows, and she
would have a trusted source. I'm not saying the trusted source is always right. I get that they do get things wrong. We all get things wrong. However, what I will say is, she wouldn't have run with that story and gone public with it if there wasn't an element of truth to it. And I know it. And that's why I said it 6 weeks ago, the day that he had that press conference and resigned. I'm telling you.
It's an interesting decision.
I just think it's all too
It's a new challenge for him. If he
I wouldn't
goes there.
say it's an interesting decision at all. As far as I'm concerned, I think the decision's very, very easy. The difference between where they are and where they could be is Damien Hardwick. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, I get that. Then I look at what Richmond did with Dimmer, and they said, all right, hang on, let's stick fat, let's change some things around.
Yeah.
And they went on to win 3 flags.
Yeah. And obviously I know you're not suggesting that Gold Coast is going to go on to win the next 3 flags. So make sure people don't take it out of context.
No, but you don't know. You don't know.
Yeah.
And no one thought Richmond was going to go on and win 3 flags, did they?
No, but Richmond were making finals after 5 years. Richmond made finals against Carlton, lost. But they still made finals. This team hasn't made finals. This team hasn't made finals.
Yeah, I suppose.
They made another final against Port Adelaide. Elimination final. They got belted. They still made finals.
Yeah.
These guys haven't made finals.
I just think this year he's starting to get a group gelling together.
And it is unfortunate.
He's not far off.
Okay. So
the only thing is they don't lure players. That's the issue.
Who wants to go there, mate?
That's the thing. When you come to off season, you always see Gold Coast GWS are getting rid of players. That's the problem.
But that's why they have their academy, which is only recent.
Yeah, but where's their academy located? Where?
Gold Coast.
Where
is it going to be located?
How many good players come out? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
They're all playing
just to
rugby.
give you an idea, like Eric, I know it's just a one-off, but there are some decent. Like Noah Cumberland is from Queensland.
Who?
Eric Hipwood, who? But it's so disrespectful. But it's so disrespectful. Noah Cumberland from Richmond.
Who?
Yeah. No, I'm just saying. The point I'm trying to make
is gets subbed all the time, is it?
He's a good player. Eric Hipwood.
Okay.
Eric Hipwood's Eric's been Brisbane's. Hang on a sec.
He's been playing very well last month.
But it's taken him a while. The point I'm trying to make is, like, I'm not singling out players, who the good ones, who the bad ones are to come from Queensland. The point I'm trying to make is they do have an academy. And the same reason why Tasmania is building an academy before they go into the AFL is because the last thing you want is for Gold Coast to be a feeder club to Victorian clubs. Because realistically, that's all they've ever been. And if they're not a feeder club to Victorian clubs, they've been a retirement home for mercenaries that want money. Casbolt, you want 300,000? Go to Gold Coast. Brandon Ellis, you want fucking 500,000?
He's playing in the VFL.
Marby or Chol, you want
Another one.
You want $500,000? Go to Gold Coast.
But that's the issue.
all they are.
But that's the issue. They're picking up those players, giving them good coin, and they're not even playing in
I
their
know,
22.
but a lot of that is stemmed because they don't have homegrown players that are born and raised there
Yeah, and they've got to pay overs to get
get players. So they've been bent over.
Yeah, they have. It's not easy.
But they're
It's not
AFL's
easy.
fucking love child. AFL owns them. Like, mate, you guys built it. You build them back up.
Yep.
Like, it's as simple as that.
Yep.
I'm telling you now, even if it costs them money from the soft cap to get rid of Stuart Dew, it'd be like a parking ticket to them. They wouldn't care.
Mm.
I'm in the corner of, I'm not sitting here like, I don't want people to get the wrong idea. I'm not saying that Stuart Dew is the wrong coach. Like, what if he is or isn't? It means nothing to me. I'm just saying, I know that Gold Coast have spoken to Damien Hardwick, and now the public knows.
Yeah, but every coach, every club's spoken to him.
I understand that. I know that.
Carlton's probably spoken to him.
I have no doubt that they have.
Where's Damien Hardwick at? Everyone's going to do it.
Yeah, they did a FaceTime call when he was in Denver. I don't know.
Port have probably reached out.
I'm not disputing that. I'm just saying
Top of the ladder.
that Gold Coast appeals the most to Damien Hardwick because it's a significant challenge.
Do you know what? Where he's at with his life.
He would love that.
Hot weather.
Love it.
Get the rig out.
Take care of himself. Get rid of the greys. Go for a
Is Stewie
surf.
Duke getting his rig out on the beach up there?
That is a very, very good question. That
His
is,
budgies.
mate. Stuart Dew's probably doing the gardening or the farming. He's probably more like a farmer. Not everyone's a surfer.
Yeah,
mate.
yeah.
Not everyone likes to sit like you and get
I
a
don't
tan.
think he's a surfer, mate. I think
Mate,
he's more
not
so.
everyone loves getting a tan.
I
He
know
might be
Stewie
the
Duke
guy,
can get
mate.
up on the board, mate.
He's got the RM Williams. He's got the tractor.
Yeah,
Mate, he's
okay.
fucking on the farm working
Where is
hard.
Stewie? Is he an Adelaide boy?
I think he is. I think.
I think he
But
is.
yeah, I just think, Paul, I think one thing before, I know your point in terms of what he's doing and what he's been able to achieve, but I do think there is one thing that works against him. 6 seasons, 120 games, 36 wins, 83 losses, 1 draw. Come on.
You're right.
Tell me in what world.
It's a result-driven industry.
It
It's
is.
a win-loss industry.
Wins and losses come with being
He doesn't
bosses.
have it. He needs, but you don't. The season hasn't finished.
I agree, and I do think the way
Well, he might beat if you beat St Kilda and he goes on and
they got the Giants after that, and then Brisbane.
well, there you go. He can beat if you. Jeez, I wouldn't be worried about St Kilda up there.
Yeah,
and then you go on play the Giants.
Giants, certain is win. We're going to speak about that when we get to races of September. It's a very hard race, but look, I think that they have Gold Coast would know what they're doing. They just are waiting for the right time. And I'm telling you, the last 2 games have not done Stuart Dew any favours. And if we're calling a spade, I know the competition's very even, but the next 4 games that he's got don't look like they're going to do him any favours either.
Yeah, I think what's going to hurt him is rounds 21, 22. He plays Adelaide away. They're not winning that.
I'm telling you,
And they're not being
I'm
Sydney
telling
away.
you, Paul, I believe the decision, if it hasn't already been made as we speak here, it will be made before round 21.
Round 23 could be the battle of who gets sacked. Carlton, Gold Coast.
Sacked? Are we in that
Well, it could
discussion?
be.
Well,
It could be. You don't know.
now that you mention it, let's move on to the next
Was
topic.
it Carlton, are we?
Have the Blues left it?
Oh,
Have the Blues left it too
God.
late? You actually raised this to me. I was happy to come in and not mention Carlton.
Have they left it
So,
late?
I'm just happy.
Well, you
still
haven't
happy
put
to
them in our
talk
run
about it.
home.
No, because
You
they
don't-
can't make the 8.
You don't think they can make the 8? They're
No.
how many points out? They're 10 points out of the 8.
They're
I think-
15th. They're not making the 8.
They can make the 8.
I understand that.
So they're currently
Mathematically,
sit-
anyone from 15th can make the 8.
They sit a game and a half out of the 8. How can they not make the 8?
They cannot make the 8, Paul.
I disagree. They can make the 8.
Oh, okay. Allow me to be clear.
They can make the 8.
Okay, so I apologize.
Mathematically, yes.
Mathematically, they
Definitely,
can.
Yes.
I know in theory they can make the 8.
Yes.
I just think they may have.
I think you
peaked
lose
a
this
bit.
week anyway, and that will ruin it. for
You just said we can make the 8.
Mathematically,
Yeah, I know. Let me ask you the question.
you don't have an easy run home.
I understand that, but if you have a look at the teams that are in the graphic that we'll display a little bit later, a lot of teams verse each other around each other. And as we know in the AFL, anyone can win.
So does that
any
mean
week.
this week? Does this week mean the loser doesn't make the 8?
Well,
Freo, Carlton.
this week's very interesting because Sydney versus Richmond, the loser can't make the 8.
Yeah.
Melbourne versus St Kilda has huge ramifications. We'll get onto it later, but there's a lot of games. Paul, every game moving forward from this week onwards is consequential.
Yeah, no, of course.
There's
we're getting
a lot
into
of
the business pointy end of the season now.
Absolutely. And in the topic that we're speaking about, have the Blues left it late? In my opinion, they have. What I will say and what I have noticed, particularly in the last 2 games, albeit against Gold Coast and Hawthorn, they've been really good performances. And you know me, man, I'm Carlton's number one critic. I love getting stuck into them. But that's because it comes from a place of love. But I'm also able to view it, and a lot of supporters are too. They just don't want to admit it. I'm able to view it not being a Carlton supporter. Whilst I am a Carlton supporter, I'm able to assess the game and judge it and take it for what it is. The last 2 weeks have been really good from Carlton. I noticed on Sunday the defensive pressure that they put on Hawthorn was second to none. Look, mate, we did not allow them to move the ball at all. I was very impressed, Paul. I was very impressed since the bye, or actually even prior to the bye, even in the Gold Coast game leading up to the bye. The defensive aspect of our game when we do not have the ball has improved out of sight.
Yeah.
And I do think
you can't measure them against Gold Coast and Hawthorn.
But you're saying that we can make the 8.
Yeah, you can make the 8.
But at the
I'm
same
saying
time,
you need to see right now. If I'm a Carlton supporter, I'm saying we go up to Perth and we get the 4 points.
100%.
That's a better.
I'm very certain we'll win this week for what it's worth.
Are you serious? You reckon you'll 100% win? It's a tough game. Perth, it's not easy to win Freo up there. They'll be tough to beat.
Richmond did it. Where's Richmond? Losing by 80 points to fucking Brisbane.
I don't think Richmond did beat them up there.
Come on, man. Get with the program, bro.
I don't think they
Come
did.
on, bro. Get with the program. They did beat them there.
Did they?
Mate, they beat them on a Saturday night. They beat them.
Oh, in the wet. Yeah, they did.
Of course
Okay.
they did.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry, mate.
But do you think they have left it too late? Like, where do you see? You just okay. So
I'll put it this way.
Yep.
Do you beat Freo? Your certainties.
No, I'm not saying. I think we win.
Play Port at home. Winnable. It's
No,
winnable.
It is. I don't think we will.
Okay. Essendon nearly knocked them off.
Well, then we got West Coast.
That's a win. Then you play Collingwood.
We'll beat you guys.
St Kilda.
We'll beat them.
Melbourne.
Melbourne are beatable.
And you play Gold Coast up there.
We'll lose to Gold Coast there. We can't play in the Gold Coast in dewy conditions.
And you think you'll beat Collingwood?
I don't see why we can't. Nah. Look,
I don't think
that was a joke. I don't think we'll beat you guys.
If you win your next 3, you can. I'd go more confident
in beating Port
at
Marvel.
It's at Marvel. Not at Marvel.
Do you think Carlton left it too late? In all honesty, fuck the hypotheticals for a second, Paul.
Okay.
Let's be real.
Yes, because you know why.
Not into fucking fantasies. Do you think we've left it too late?
You can mathematically make it.
Agreed.
But if you're gonna make it, you're gonna have to knock off some top 4 teams, and that's as simple as it is.
We had a run of 6 weeks to do, and we didn't do it.
Correct.
So
I've said that.
What I'm trying to say is what gives you the impression because
I've seen
glimpses too. I've seen glimpses too,
but
mate.
I've seen teams turn it around, and
I agree.
Confidence is a big thing.
100%. No doubt.
And I think, as much as yes, what you said, the defensive pressure, they've played well.
Yeah.
You need to see that performance against good quality football clubs.
I'll rephrase what you're going. I agree with what you say, and I'll rephrase it slightly. I need to see it when the pressure's put on them.
Yeah, correct.
Because the asset test that they faced so far.
If you look at Hawthorn's results without Sicily.
Oh, mate, Hawthorn folded like a fucking deck chair.
Yeah.
Hawthorn literally folded. But I'm
really bad.
But the positives to take out of the last 7 or 8 weeks for Carlton is what they're doing with the ball has improved 2x.
Yep.
In the previous 6 weeks where we were on that bad run. What we're doing without the ball has improved 3x as well.
Yeah,
that is the positives. Now, as a Carlton fan, I'm looking at the last 7 weeks after the Gold Coast game, obviously leading into the bye, from basically the Hawthorn game to the end of the year, round 16 through to round 24, and I'm looking at what can we take out of it to springboard and use as a platform in 2024? Because as far as I'm concerned, it's not all doom and gloom. I was very, very glass half empty after the 6 weeks of where we lost 6 in a row. After watching us against Hawthorn on Sunday, irrespective of who the opponent was, I'm telling you, if we play that way against 16 other teams aside from Hawthorn, we would be beating 14 sides.
Yeah,
I'm telling you we would
yeah,
have.
I get it.
So,
But things look better when you verse lower quality clubs.
yeah,
Your ball
Okay,
skill
I
becomes...
Paul, I
like you
understand
said,
that.
you want to see it under pressure,
I
and
do.
you'll get that this week.
To the eye test, they look that way, but the numbers don't lie.
So what is Carl? So you... The
I'm
thing
not gonna-
is, if
I'm
you win
only-
this week, you're only 2 points out of the 8. That's
Understand
the thing.
that. And given a lot of
And
teams...
you're
around-
telling
yeah.
me they're a certainty. So...
I'm not saying we're a certainty, but you know how I think, Paul. I think we'll win. You know what
I
I'm
think you
talking
lost
about.
to them there last year.
We did. Mark Pitternet went down with a PCL injury.
Yeah, it's an interesting game. It is.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see if Tom DeConning comes back because obviously Nat 5's been ruled. We'll speak about it in the preview, but look,
We'll get to that.
Nat 5, he's done.
Yeah,
Cut.
no, I know. I just want to.
He's been a witch's
Didn't he
hat.
just get a 2-year contract?
He did. On
Some-
reduced money. Hang on. On reduced money, mate. It was slightly less. It wasn't.
Who's getting their contract there?
Mate, you're running the show at Canterbury, mate. Kicking 5 goals.
He has
every,
5. How's 5?
5 goals every
2
week
years?
on unconditioned 18-year-olds, you were telling me.
Very unconditioned. But how do you give someone a 2-year deal? How many games has he played in the last 2 years?
It's called sentimental value. That's how.
Mm.
Sentiment. That's
Okay.
how.
Okay. Well, anyway, back to Carlton.
How do clubs carry club champions to 250 games?
Yeah, no, I get
The
that.
exact same reason.
But he's not on the field. That's the
He's
issue.
he is a club champion. He's an AFL champion. But look, for me, the Blues, just to round off this particular topic, very good signs the last 2 weeks. I personally think the Blue Baggers have left it too late. It's not to me. I have changed my opinion on Carlton in terms of what I was thinking 3 or 4 weeks ago to what I'm thinking
Tell me this.
today.
Tell me this. If
I think
you win
2024 can be very good for us.
If you win your next 3,
Yep.
how many get to the G on a Friday night
Yeah, and we'll beat you guys.
and watch Collingwood Carlton
I'm
on
going.
a Friday? When
I've got tickets, mate. You haven't got tickets yet.
when was the last time Collingwood Carlton played on a Friday night?
2020 round 2. You guys beat us.
Was that the Mick Malthouse?
When Lockie Plowman was having a laugh at the end of the game.
Oh,
he was
yeah.
laughing about it's the last time he's going to wear a Carlton jumper. That was a Friday night. That was when Charlie and Darcy Moore, I think, went head-to-head for the first time. And you guys beat Buckley, I think, was your coach.
Yes, okay.
Either my memory is very good or yours is very bad. Let's go in the middle. My memory is not so
I'm
good.
off this week.
My
I'm
memory
off.
is selective.
That's
What
a
about
big
you?
game. That's a big game.
Yeah, look, as far as I'm
Interesting.
concerned, the bigger game is this week, which we'll get into. But yeah, I think we have left.
Geez,
it
if
too
you
late.
win this week, the Port Carlton game becomes a big game.
Every game is a big game. Race to September. This is a topic
Alrighty.
which we're going to put the AFL ladder up so our viewers can see it. You should have
I've
it in
got
front
it
of
up.
you as well, Paul. I want to focus not so much on the top 2. I think the top 2 is basically done. Maybe Brisbane can. Actually, the top 3 is done. But from the stretch of it's the next image, the one I sent earlier. From 5th to 15th is what the viewers at home are going to see. And there's basically there's 10 points spanning across 10 positions on the ladder.
It's tight. Is Richmond done?
Are you asking me or telling me?
If they beat Sydney this week,
Well, they're not beating Sydney this week.
yeah, I don't think they win either.
Like Gold Coast are there, but as far as I'm concerned, in my calculations, Gold Coast are not relevant.
No, their run home's too hard.
Right.
They're not gonna win.
Geelong for me is the team, and I know they've stuffed up and they've been less than convincing. Geelong is the we're gonna bring up their run home. Go to the next one. That one there. We're gonna bring up their run home very shortly. But just to clarify on this ladder, like Geelong is sitting 9th. Geelong is the team, as far as I'm concerned, from the team stretch from 5th to 15th, that are certainties to make the 8.
I disagree.
You don't think Geelong's going to make the 8?
They're not a certainty, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you want to move on? Okay. So
Well, they run home.
the punters
Every
at
team's
home,
in the 8.
punters at home have seen the ladder. We'll put up the image that we're looking at now, which is an Excel, just a snippet of an Excel spreadsheet basically teams from 5th to 13th. I have left out 14th and 15th, which is Carlton and Richmond. Right? So highlighted, you can see there are the ones highlighted yellow are interstate trips. And then obviously, you've got home. The one I forgot to highlight was the Swans one in round 17, which Richmond at the bottom there, bottom left corner, is an interstate trip. So, Paul, tell me.
Well, you look at Geelong.
Yeah.
They'll probably get the next 2 wins. Essendon's that's a big game too for Essendon.
They're playing that. By the way, you know where they're playing that.
It's in Geelong, isn't it?
GHB, yeah.
Well, Geelong will go in favourites. And you play
100% start favourites.
Lions at the Gabba. They don't win that.
No, okay.
They play Freo in Geelong, I'm assuming.
Yep.
They play Port at Geelong. That's a tough game.
They do.
That'll be an interesting game.
I didn't highlight. They're all okay. The reason why there's no home and away is because they're all in Victoria.
Yeah.
No, they're all in Victoria.
Yeah. Well, the Collingwood one's at the MCG. That's not easy. They play
Saints one might be at Marvel. Yeah.
Yep.
And the Bulldogs one, I think, is at Geelong.
That's at Geelong.
Yeah.
Right? They're not easy games. Like Dogs, Saints, Pies, Port. Like, that's not an easy run home for their last 4. Is it?
I think by then they'll
But
be. I think by
you reckon they'll be cemented?
I think okay. So they'll beat. We don't want to make a prediction. I like to call them just an expectation.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Expect them to beat Kangaroos. Expect them to beat Essendon. Brisbane's a coin flip. So there's no certainty to lose it. There's no certainty. It's a coin flip. Let's give them the L. Let's give them the loss.
I'm going to give them the L, yeah.
Sure. Fremantle they beat. Port Adelaide they will beat. Collingwood is a coin flip. I'm going to give them the L. It's a coin flip.
Did you watch Geelong Friday night?
I did.
On these expectations? They were awful.
Insignificant to me. St Kilda they win, Bulldogs they win. So the only 2 ones that they lose are the coin flips, which are against Lions and
So
and
you
Collingwood.
think out of their next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
They
8.
only lose 2.
So they win their next
lose 2
6 out of 8 games.
Yes. Is that out of the? Is it so much out of the stretch of the imagination or out of the realms of possibilities that they can't win 6 out of their 8? Like you're making it sound like it's Mission Impossible. You knew who you were talking about.
Yeah, I know who we're talking about. Geelong. The thing is,
yeah, the last 2 weeks they haven't shown that.
People think of Geelong.
Yep.
And this is where you can get tricked.
Sure.
You think of what they were
and what they
last year
and
what
they're
they
going
are
to be the same.
Yeah, you think, all right, that's what they were last year, so
Sure.
that's going to come. It's going to come. It's going to come.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
It hasn't happened for them.
And there's a reason for that. There's been no continuity with their whole season in terms of injuries.
Correct. Yeah.
Right?
No, that's right. That's right.
So must I remind you what they did? And this typifies what you just said. Last year, round 9 was their last loss. They did not lose another game for the rest of 2022. They lost to St Kilda. They went 4-5. So what you said is, I'm one of those guys potentially who, because what they did last year, they're going to replicate it.
Yep.
I certainly understand they're not going to win their next 12 games. But I am saying that I've in my projection, not prediction, projection, I believe they win 6 out of their last 8.
And you're banking they beat Port 2 out of those.
I'm banking that they may win either a game against the Lions or Pies. And they're coin flips. Every other game that Geelong's got there, as far as I'm concerned, is not a coin flip. Right? And then we look at the other teams here, right? So let's have a look. Okay, so I've highlighted the 2 teams that are on the 2-point difference, which is based teams that have the draw. Geelong and Sydney. It's of my belief that outside the 8, aside from Geelong, that GWS and Sydney are the 2 teams that can make it. Do not count, and Sydney starts this week. I know people are not expecting much of Greater Western Sydney.
No, they can make it. Their run home's not too bad.
You've got the run in front of you.
Well,
the punters at home will have a look at the run. They're looking at what we're.
Well, they're not going to lose to Hawthorn at home. They'll lose to Adelaide. They'll go in favourites to the Suns,
which they'll beat.
Yep.
Bulldogs are no certainty to beat them.
Nah, I don't think. Yeah, they won't beat them.
Right. The Swans at home.
That's a big game.
But the Swans at home is in Sydney. It's at. I think it's at a core. It's in GWS.
Yeah,
it's not an
and
ANZ.
They beat them there. They beat them early this year. Giants beat Sydney.
Oh, remember that?
Toby Green.
Of course, I remember that.
And
Max result.
Yeah, and the one that slips out.
So the Essendon and Carlton game, I'm telling you now,
That's a big game.
in my book, they start favourites in both. In both. I'm telling you they're a better team than what Essendon are. I'm telling you right now, they are a better team than what Essendon
Carlton
are.
game.
Yeah, their last 2 games of the year. They got
Yeah.
Essendon at home and Carlton away.
Carlton away will be tough for them because you don't know. You see, you look at
I understand
Carlton
that.
away,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely,
If Carlton's in the
yeah.
hunt,
Yeah.
If Carlton's in the hunt,
Mm.
then it's a tough game.
Yeah.
Whereas if Carlton season's over,
Yeah.
you can probably it changes things.
Mm.
Essendon for me, and I called this 2 weeks ago.
I know, and I messaged you to not congratulate you. Like I don't like pumping people up, but to give you some positive reinforcement. Say, look, Paul, you were spot on with this
tough
call.
run home.
You were absolutely spot on. You said on this show that they were no certainties to make
but
that.
everyone banks the Eagles and Kangaroos, and I get that.
That's
This week,
you should see the argument
wins
I
this
had
week?
with Nick and Terrace. He goes 11 wins will get you in the final.
No,
I go, Nick, shut up.
no, it won't.
I go, you're going to win 2 games. You're going to beat the West Coast Eagles, and you're going to beat Kangaroos. And he goes, oh, we'll get one more win. I said, Nick, you're going to need 13 wins. So you tell me, Essendon fans or anyone out there, Essendon, as it currently
Where does it come from?
Essendon sits on 8 wins. There's how many games left, Paul? There's 8 games to go. I'm giving them 2 absolute certainties, right? That takes them to 10 wins. They need to manufacture. They've got 6 games left after
They need
those.
to beat Adelaide this week. That's the one.
I agree. I
They have to
completely
beat-
agree.
And if they lose, their confidence will be shot.
Look at the coin flips here. Like Essendon's season could be literally like it's a roller coaster. Coin flip game against Crows. They're not beating Geelong. Coin flip game against
Dogs.
Bulldogs.
Yep.
Flip of a coin, Swans. Flip of a coin, GWS in round 23.
Mhm.
Although I believe GWS will win that game. And depending on where Collingwood is, right, whether it's first or second, the Collingwood game, Collingwood will beat them, but you guys might end up resting a few players. Actually, no, you won't.
I don't
You
think
end up getting you
Get the
get
bye
the week
after.
off. Yeah.
Yeah.
My apologies. There's a lot of games there that are
I'm
literally
actually
flip of a
excited
coin.
for the last.
How good is it?
It's good.
How
'cause
good is
every
it?
game means something.
They mean everything, and they're all versing each
Yeah,
other.
even tomorrow night, Sydney Richmond is a huge game. Huge.
Well,
because if
se-
Richmond
season
win, then they're back
I know,
in the
and-
hunt.
And I wasn't trying to be disrespectful to Richmond or Carlton because they're not on this little image here, but
It's
I
unlikely
it's
from
unlikely
14th or
that
15th.
either of them. I know the thing is the Swans, Carlton, and Richmond are all on the same points.
Yep.
Are they not?
I genuinely think that
They are. They're all
yeah.
on 26 points.
Yep. And if Richmond win, geez,
If Richmond
tight.
win, maybe this time next week we're going to have a different conversation. I don't see Richmond winning on tomorrow night. They're not winning. They're just not.
I think Sydney's not far off some good footy.
I'm
in my
telling you,
opinion.
Sydney
And I felt sorry. They really should have won.
inaccurate.
Last
I'll
week,
just go
yeah.
speak to Melbourne. They know all about it. Man, the Melbourne game was
Oh,
even
my
worse.
God.
No, the Melbourne game was worse.
They're
The Melbourne
terrible.
game was worse. If you saw the statistics without looking at the score between Melbourne and GWS,
But that's been their story for a year and a half.
they can't score. I
It
know.
was the
that.
same story last year.
Now that Bailey Fritsch is out for 7 or 8 weeks,
Where does their goals come from now?
It's not Tom McDonald. He's another 3-4 weeks away. Ben
Ben-
Brown is got the turning circle of the Titanic. I mean, maybe it's a bad time to bring that up. Sorry, he's got the turning. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
It's so
yeah,
bad.
one, that's the thing.
He's cast.
He-
He's absolutely cast.
I'd actually think Mason Cox would offer more pressure than Ben Brown.
Oh
on
mate, he
ground
might
level.
get his sunglasses pulled off again.
So
What
you look
about-
at hang on, Melbourne could potentially drop out this week.
Of the 4, it's
Could you
fourth
imagine
versus
St
fifth.
Kilda's in the 4 next week?
It's a false 4. Go look at their run. Like St Kilda's run's pretty easy. St Kilda for me are shoo-ins. St
Saints?
Kilda, as far as I'm
Oh,
concerned,
yeah.
I'm not saying that they're going to be the best team in the 8, or I'm not saying if St Kilda finish 5th, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think they're the 5th best team in the AFL.
No, and you're licking your lips if you're 8th.
Mate, I'm telling you,
Would you?
Geelong. Geelong.
I've said you don't want to play Geelong in finals. You want to stay
You're not
away.
the only one, man, but I agree with you. I completely agree.
They're the one you don't want to play.
Do you think it's a industry known, or do you think people? Is there anyone that does want to play Geelong aside from Collingwood? I mean, not even Collingwood wants to play him. Is there anyone else in the A?
Look, you know
that
what?
want that
If you're the
goes,
best
you know
team,
what? I wouldn't mind playing. I'm saying Collingwood would because I know Collingwood rise to the challenge. Collingwood love the big
at the end of the
occasion.
day,
Is
you're
there
going to
any
win the
other team there
flag.
that
You got to
wanna-
beat the best, though.
I know that. I understand. But if you can circumnavigate them until the last day, you would. No? Would you not?
Yeah, I don't think they get there anyway.
Geelong don't get to the 8.
Do you know what will happen?
Geelong don't make the 8.
No. Do you know what's going to happen?
Hang on. Can I put you on the...
No. They'll make the 8. I'm saying
okay.
the last day.
Yeah.
I think they're going to run into playing an interstate team and they'll get rolled.
Right.
And
Which
that
is
will
probably
be
going to be
Brisbane or Port
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah.
Or you know the other team you don't want to play?
Here we go.
You don't want to play Adelaide over there.
I completely agree.
I think they're unbeatable over there.
Well, they're not because you guys beat them. But no, I get you. They're
Just-
very, very good, mate. I've been on a hard. Sorry for my. I've been that excited about Adelaide.
They're a
for
good football
that
team.
long. They are so good.
Yeah, they are good.
Have a look at their run. Adelaide sitting in 7th at the moment. Right. So they're on 32 points. Which means they've also got 8 wins. Exactly the same as Essendon.
Do you know what? Port's got a tough run home as well, looking at who they're playing.
Port will make top 4. Let's not speak about Port.
I think but they got a tough run home.
I understand that. Let's just talk about the
Crows.
The Crows. The Crows
Okay.
at the moment, they've got Essendon away, as you said earlier.
Flip a coin.
Massive, massive game. Cannot understate both teams, mate. That's going to be epic. We'll work out when. I think it's Sunday. Sunday at 2.
4:40. Oh, no.
3.
It's the early one.
3?
Yeah, I think it's 3.
No, it's not 1 o'clock. Can't
No,
be
it's
1
the
o'clock.
3.
Carlton's
whatever it
playing
is.
the 4:40 game. That's going to be a massive game at Marvel Stadium. Then they got the Cats. Oh, sorry. So then they got the Giants at home.
Win.
I'll give them the win. Well, I'm very certain they'll win.
Demons away.
They got the Demons away. The way the Demons are travelling, they might be too slick for them.
Yes, and we know Melbourne can't kick a score, and
Adelaide can defend.
they
we
can,
know that.
Yeah, they can
They've
defend.
got two.
And they've got threats up forward.
I know, but Melbourne's defence is stingy. But it's if they played each other this week, if this week we were speaking to each other and it was Adelaide and Melbourne at the MCG.
Melbourne's defence is stingy,
Mm.
but without Bailey Fritsch, they've now lost
Another goal.
Bailey
Another
Fritsch
avenue
gives
to
you a
goal.
goal.
Yeah.
a goal.
Yeah.
And I know against Collingwood, Darcy Moore's playing on Fritsch, so you'll like he
If
takes
Crows-
a good defender.
If Crows are versus Melbourne this week, question without notice, who, at the MCG, who are you tipping? I'm Adelaide. Chips in.
I've got to go Adelaide.
Chips in.
Melbourne
Chips in. No?
Melbourne is a team you don't even last year they
couldn't
cough
get a
games
read on
up
them. I
that they're
know.
meant to win. You can't get a read
mate,
on them.
When Paul Sebastiani used to be on this show, we said the biggest challenge for Melbourne this year is their mental application. I noticed it against Essendon at Gather Round. Noticed it against Fremantle at the MCG 3 weeks ago. I even noticed it against us. They were shocking.
But that's how they play.
And then they came out against you
Yeah, they won-
guys
they won,
and
yeah.
they rolled you.
Yeah.
But we know that. We knew that was.
We knew they were going to.
We knew
They
that
got
was
us
gonna
right
happen.
in the.
They got you in the best
Look,
time ever.
Collingwood was fucking.
Well, we should ask the crowd if someone wants to comment. I mean, you can see teams from 5th to 13th there on your screen. I don't know. The only team,
Jeez,
the
even
only
the
thing,
Dogs
the
have been
only
easy,
thing
bro.
I do know, or I'm very, very confident on, and forgive me for my continuous support and love of this team, but Geelong will make the 8.
Yeah, I agree because they got the games in Geelong which they're not going to lose.
Remember, they didn't play their first home game till round 6
Mm.
at GHB Stadium. GMHB. I keep saying GHB.
I think you're right. I think
My
they'll beat
bad.
Port, Geelong.
They will.
Geelong make it. It's where Geelong falls. Mate, they could make. Jeez, they're not far off 4th either, are they?
Yeah, they're one game. Come on, man. Anyway, that's a good discussion. That's a
They're a game and a half away
Paul,
from
I
4.
think moving forward, like every episode that we do, we may have to discuss.
We'll have to update
We
that
might
Excel
have to
sheet.
update that Excel sheet. It's going to be hot. And isn't it the AFL's dream? They're in such a good
Oh,
position.
100%.
Like it's so competitive. 5th to 15th, there's 6 points separating them.
And
Yeah.
have a look at Port's run home.
Mm.
Gold Coast at home, they win that. They play Carlton away.
Why are we talking about Port? Are you worried?
Because they don't have an easy. I'm just
You're
saying.
saying them dropping out of the 4 potentially.
Well,
potentially.
No, they could drop their second spot. I'm looking. Do they play? They play Carlton in Melbourne. They play Collingwood.
Yep.
And they play the Showdown.
Yep.
They play Geelong.
In Geelong.
Yep. And they play the Giants and Freo in Perth. It's not an easy run.
They
home.
won 13 in a row. 13? Yeah. Houston's goals 13. They won 13 against us, or 12. No, 12. 12.
I
12.
I
12.
personally think
I expect them to drop a game here and there. And you know what? It might come against us. I'm just saying, like,
you guys can beat them.
I know we can. I know.
But the games at Marvel, I've got a theory.
Mm.
Port do not perform at the G. I'm not a fan. I'm not convinced with them at the MCG.
Based off their 70-point loss to you and their 2-point win or 4-point win against Essendon?
Yeah. And
they did beat Richmond when they had first week of Andrew McCall.
Yeah, that's right. And really,
okay.
Essendon game.
It's actually a fair point. I'm not going to disagree.
A roller coaster. Port should have put away in the first.
Yeah.
Then Essendon probably were the better teams, quarters 2 and 3.
Yeah.
And then, Port got a. Essendon should have won it in the end.
I think it was just a lack of experience and a lack of leadership. I'm not questioning it. I believe, like, I'm not sitting here having a go at Essendon's leadership because I love Zach Merritt. But I think there's a few things, if they had their time again, Essendon from that game on Saturday.
Oh.
Starting from the kick out of the goal square where Ollie Wines was able to play volleyball in the middle of the ground.
Yeah, he's pumped.
I mean, come on. Anyway, we'll move on. Who's cooking?
Ooh. Nicky Boy's cooking.
Nicky Boy,
Saturday.
yeah. Who's Nicky?
Nicky Dacos?
Oh, not Nicki Minaj?
No.
Oh, all right.
He was cooking.
Who's your top 5 teams, Paul?
Nicky D.
No, your top 5 teams.
Oh, serious? I'm off. Mate, I'm off today.
I know. Are you all right?
I'm feeling
Are you okay? You sure?
All righty.
Your top 5 teams,
Pies,
Paul Italiano.
1, Port 2.
Yep.
I really struggle after here.
Mine flipped. So I want to hear yours.
I've got Lions 3.
Don't tell me you're 4 and 5 exactly the same as mine.
Melbourne is 4. And I've
Okay.
gone Adelaide at 5.
Right. Similar.
Yeah. The thing is, on 4, Melbourne's not really a top 5 team.
I can tell you now, Melbourne did not make the cut.
They didn't make your cut.
They did not make the cut.
Yeah. They're
I
going to be there.
can't believe what I've seen. And you know what? Even against Collingwood, even against you guys, I know they had that win. I'm a bit off Melbourne. I was on them. I'm off. So just to repeat your top 5, Paul Italiano.
Pies, Port, Lions, Melbourne, Adelaide.
Very similar, mine.
Who have you got?
Collingwood number 1, Port Adelaide.
2.
Brisbane 3.
Yeah, I had Brisbane 3.
Adelaide 4.
Yep.
The Kennel. Western Bulldogs at 5.
You haven't. The Dogs.
Why wouldn't I?
Really?
I think they're very close. They fucked me off so bad, Bulldogs. I can't. It's here one day this way, then it's that away. They don't know whether they're Arthur or Martha, and that's how I feel about Bulldogs.
Really?
Mate,
I'm not convinced on the Dogs at all.
Yeah.
There's something about them. They do not convince me.
On the contrary, there's something about them that does convince me.
What is it? I just think they struggle.
Their running game. I love teams that have a running game.
Look, they are going to get some good players back.
Mm.
JJ. I think Richards is back this week, maybe. He'll want to play against
Liam Jones. How far Liam Jones?
He's ages. He's like 8 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks.
Is it really?
Yeah. You want to take him out?
That. No. Fuck no. Never pull out. No matter the circumstance. Never pull out. 1 in, all in. A bet's a bet. We lay it down.
Yeah, well, look, they are. What are they on the ladder? 6, are they?
They are.
I don't think I've ever had St Kilda.
We didn't speak about much in there. We didn't speak about the Bulldogs much in the run home, primarily because I think they will be there.
Yeah,
like, they're not someone I expect. Them and St Kilda we didn't speak much about. Primarily because
I don't think they're gonna. I couldn't see them drop out.
Yeah. Okay, Paul Italiano, your top 5 players.
Well,
I already know.
We know
here we go.
There's Dacos, and then there's 4
Sell
bowls
the
of
farm for this bloke.
Butters
get on your knees.
off.
Get on your knees for Nick Dacos.
Who's better than him in the game now?
No one. I'm taking the Mickey, mate. I
Who's
love
better
him
than
too.
him? He's good.
I love him
He's-
too. I do.
Do you know what? It does get spoken
I only
about.
wish that jersey he was wearing when he was younger,
Stayed,
which was a
wasn't it?
Carlton one, he stayed
never
the same.
gonna happen,
Never
mate.
going to happen. I know. Yeah. So who you got? Number 1, Nick Dacos. And
One,
then
he's running capacity. Oh, mate.
no, I've spoken to you about this.
Ugh, it's
Ridiculous.
unbelievable. Dacos, Butters, the Bont, Traka.
Yep.
Even though
He
tell
can't
you
kick
what,
straight.
if he kicked goals, geez, he'd be.
If he kicked goals,
Yeah.
if he kicked more than 12 goals this year, I think someone brought up a stat about his goal kicking.
What did he kick? 0-4.
Yeah, like 12 goals, 26 or something.
Oh, look, the
If
conditions.
he turns those 12 goals into 20,
Yeah.
he's probably equal second favourite for the Brownlow. No,
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm serious.
No, I
Like,
agree. I agree.
Yeah, and he got number 5.
Merritt, your boy,
Was.
took
I
him
like
out.
Zach Merritt. Yeah, he's not there. He's not there, mate.
You took him out of your top
Mate,
5.
AD's got a rejuvenated top 5 this week. Feeling hella good, you know.
I know who you're going to
We've
put
got a
in.
couple of.
I can't believe you're going to put him in.
My top 5 players.
I can't believe you're putting him in.
Which one? I reckon it's got to be the bottom 2 anyway.
It's the bottom one.
the
I don't know
fourth
your
and fifth.
4th.
Oh,
I
you
know
don't have
your
a
fifth.
It's actually my 4th. So number 1, Nick Dacos, from my house to your house, Paul, the best player in the comp.
It is.
Keep betting till you got don't gamble irresponsibly. I mean responsibly. He'll win the Brownlow.
What's he paying to win the Brownlow now?
He'll win the Brownlow from my house to your house.
David King called that in pre-season, didn't he?
Yeah, good call. Length of Flemington straight.
Yeah.
He'll win it.
Yeah.
Like it's not even debatable anymore.
Actually,
He's
interesting
that
though
far
when
ahead.
DeGoey
He's that
comes
far
back
ahead.
this week.
I know the AFL put an article about that.
Did
Well,
they?
Yeah, they
You
did.
send that to me?
Well, his role. I will.
Thank you.
Zach Butters number 2. Worthy
Mhm.
number 2.
I like Zach Butters.
Worthy number 2.
They're actually
Marcus
similar.
Bontempelli, he shows up week in, week out. He's
Yes.
number 3.
Mhm.
I've got a lot of love for Marcus
I love the Bond.
Bontempelli.
He's good.
Nick Blakey at number 4.
The Lizard.
You
Put him
said
forward, did you?
number 4. Number 5, I've got Jordan Dawson. Flip
Oh,
of
yeah.
a coin between those two. I just think Nick Blakey at the moment, what he's doing,
He played good.
given
Friday
his
night.
size and what he's able to do and the impact on a game, I saw it firsthand against us on that Friday night where he just took the game apart.
He takes the game on, which is, and
He
his
wins
ball
games.
use is elite. Yeah, he does win games.
He can defend.
Yep.
You know what?
He's got a good intercept
He,
game.
he can pinch in the ruck. He's a bit small. I know he's not going to do it.
Yeah.
He can pinch it in the ruck for them. He can play as a key defender. He can play as a wing. He can play as a mid. He can play as a forward. Mate, they just signed him on a contract. And to be honest, the first thing I said when I saw that major extension that he signed with the
8
Swans,
years, wasn't it? Or
it's
something?
ridiculous. That was my first impression. Like, I can't believe this. But the more and more I look at it,
Mm.
I go like, wow. Irrespective of the figures, irrespective of the money, I just go, man, like, he walks into any team. I don't care. He walks into any other team. There
Oh,
isn't,
100%.
there isn't 17 other teams. There
Well,
is
he's
another
the
team in the
number-
competition
he's
that he
actually
doesn't walk into.
The number 1 ranked player in the comp the last
he
2
really?
weeks. Yeah.
Last 2 weeks. That makes sense.
Yeah, he is.
Mm,
He's killing it.
he is. We're going to get on to our round 17 preview.
Let's go.
I've got to get the teams up. Well, tomorrow night, I know that. Already know who's going to win tomorrow night.
Swans.
Mate,
They're not the favourite.
People
are they?
must think like I'm so
Richmond's a
arrogant,
favourite.
but I'm really not. I'm actually not. Like I can't see a scenario where Sydney do not win. You know what I'm talking about.
I think they win. I'll be tipping. I'm surprised Richmond's favourite. I'll be interesting to see their team selection.
Well, Buddy's in. They announced it.
Farewell.
Don't know about Richmond, but Buddy's playing. Buddy's definitely.
Yeah,
Buddy
yeah, yeah.
La for the 114th
They'll do it
time.
for Buddy.
Oh,
They'll get up for it.
Oh, they'll do it for Buddy. Oh, yeah.
They'll get up for
yeah,
it.
no, they'll do it.
Friday night isn't gimme.
Bulldogs. You going? Bulldogs, Collingwood, 7:50. Marvel. I'm actually gonna. I'm gonna. I'm going out for dinner on Friday night. I'm gonna try.
Where you going?
Doesn't matter where. Going for a steak.
You got a date?
Yeah, with 2 blokes.
Oh.
What's so funny?
Beautiful.
What's wrong with that?
Mate, nothing wrong
What's
with
wrong
that.
with that?
Nothing wrong. There'll be no
Even
headaches.
if I bat for the other team.
That's
what's wrong
no,
with
mate.
that? Nah, it's not. Look, listen. I really, really want to watch this game, and I've made commitments.
really?
Yeah, and I'm going to dinner with a couple of people, and I'm not going to bail out because I keep my word. But I don't
Just
want
change your location, mate. To the
I
Sporting
don't,
Globe.
I don't want to be anywhere but in front of the TV because I know I can't get it. I want to watch this. This is going to be a cracker. You got? Oh, we know that. Collingwood. You?
Oh, yeah, I'm not. Like I said before, I'm not convinced with them. So I think Pie's easy. Do you think Collingwood easy?
You're not convinced with Collingwood or Bulldogs?
The Dogs.
Collingwood, not easy. I don't know. I really don't know. But I'm just first thought I'm gonna say Collingwood. I haven't looked at.
What would you say?
The only game I've looked at in depth is tomorrow night's game.
Yeah.
So this is my personal selection. Not that anyone cares. No one holds it against us. But my opinion can change from Friday and beyond. You're set on Collingwood?
And
I know you're fair.
We need to see the team selection. That's the other thing,
yeah.
right? I think
Degoe definitely
comes in.
My check out.
Yeah, he's out for a week. Strained.
Wow.
Hammy, which
fucking Jamie Elliott heard me.
I know. You said he was on the verge.
He's so cast. He comes out and kicks 5.
Yeah.
I'm so fucked.
I think Collingwood's in a position, and Port,
yeah,
where any type of player who's pulled up will arrest. And I think
no risk.
He's got a minor strain.
No need to risk.
No risk. And I think McStay will come in. So Degoe and McStay will come in.
I'm actually going to be rude and skip the next game.
Yeah, I think we can.
GWS versus Hawthorn. No certainties, Giants. Giants will win. They're not certainties.
No, they're not. Is Sicily out again?
Yes.
Giants are certainties. Yes. They'll win.
Another game. Look at this game.
Is this Saturday night?
This is Saturday night.
What?
St Kilda Marvel. Because it's Marvel. Are you going to say Marvel?
No. Why the fuck do they cross over 2 games on a Saturday night?
Like which ones? Port Adelaide and Gold Coast.
Yeah, why cross it over?
But why are people only mentioning it now? They've had 2 games on a Saturday night for the last 10 years.
There wasn't a game on Saturday night. 2 games last weekend. And I don't know
but
why
it has been like that. In a regular
that?
Week, it's been like this for the last 10 years.
Put 2 on the Friday night.
Oh, you just talk about crossing over games.
No.
One started 6, one started 8.
Make a Perth team play always
every
Friday night and start them at that
10 o'clock
10
time.
o'clock.
So no one watches and AFL loses money.
Listen, do you go to bed at 10 o'clock on a Friday?
No, you know what time I go
every
to bed.
AFL.
I'm in bed at 9 p.m.
You won't be watching it. You watch the replay, but I will.
I won't watch the replay.
Right? I don't want to watch roaming Brian at 10. I'd rather flick over to the next game.
Roaming beats.
Yeah,
St Kilda, Melbourne, 5th v 4th, Marvel Stadium, 7:25.
I hope that's the Channel 7 game.
It is. Of course, it has to be.
Beautiful. I think
it has to be.
I think
surely it is.
I think St Kilda win.
I think they do too.
I'm not convinced on Melbourne to win that.
I don't know how you could be.
But St Kilda awful too. I can't get a read on Saints. I don't know about them. I'm not convinced.
Saints for me.
Fritsch is a big out for Melbourne.
Agreed.
Massive.
Port v Goldie.
Port?
Adelaide Oval. I thought it was Australian Open. It says AO.
Yeah.
I thought it was Australian Open.
I wouldn't be surprised if...
You cannot be.
No. Gold Coast aren't going to win.
Oh,
but I reckon they'll...
Thank God.
I think they'll put up a good fight on Saturday.
Bit of resistance.
Yeah. I think they'll come out bat for their coach.
Port for me. You?
Yep, Port.
Sunday.
Geelong,
North Melbourne, Geelong. Yep. Another big game. Look, Marvel's got some good games this week.
You might as well just put a 10 out the front.
Why don't we just go book the Medallion Club out for the weekend?
I don't know who wins this game.
Adelaide versus Crows we're talking about here.
I think Adelaide win.
I've got no idea.
I think Marvel suits them too. Good conditions.
Fuck, Essendon have got no defence.
I'm going Adelaide.
I worry about Essendon's defence. I worry about it a lot.
They were lucky.
I worry about them when they don't have the ball. It petrifies me.
Yeah, and Port should have been about 7 goals up at quarter time on Saturday night if they kicked straight, which they didn't.
2 goals 8 they were at one stage.
So the game could have been put away.
They balanced it up eventually. But yeah, look, I
know they balanced it up, but the game's over. The
scoreball pressure.
Yeah, so then it becomes, well, we got to make up 6 goals. You know, you can get them out the back. It changes the game.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Adelaide. That is a really tough game.
I'm going to plead the 5th on that one.
That'd be right. Splinters on your ass.
That's it. Last game of the round.
You think Carlton are certainties?
No, maybe I was a bit exuberant with that, but
Freo's the favourite, and I think they win.
Market means nothing to me.
I think Freo win.
Does
Carlton have any outs? The Koning comes in.
No, we don't know.
Well,
they pulled him out very late.
He had scans, I think, on Monday.
Yeah. He was at the game in good spirits, from what I was told.
I think over there, Perth, Freo. Hard to tip against them, considering you
For you, it might be.
I just don't trust Carlton. Oh, and how can you?
Some guess,
How can
others
you?
know.
And this is the thing.
That's so
That's,
bad.
I like
I
that
apologize for my arrogance.
But
I do.
I think, again, people think of
Carlton.
Carlton last year. I
So
think
why are
their
you doing the
form this
same
year-
thing?
No, I'm going Freo. Freo win.
So what do you mean Carlton last year? We lost there last year. What do you mean by people thinking about Carlton
No,
last year?
their form last year of what they produced.
Right.
Right. And you get that. People then take that expectation to the next year.
We lost 6 in
that's
a row.
right.
I think
Well,
people have lowered their expectation on the Blues. No? Carlton win.
Freo win. We disagree. Agree to disagree.
One of us has
That's
to
a
be
good
right,
game,
no?
though.
I agree.
Geez, I'll tell you what. Sunday, Arvo, some good games of footy.
I know.
Get excited for
Might have
that.
to have a barbecue.
Oh, yeah.
That'll do us, Paul.
Thank you, mate.
Thanks for everyone. Thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Hope you enjoyed it. Good road. Good show, sorry. Especially on the way to the finals now.
That's going to get hotter, yeah.
It's going to get
It
hotter.
is.
We're going to bring more heat to the grill. Thanks for watching.